Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Average Pros with your guy Brent, Kev, with the GOAT, the
Donnie
freaking
Branch.
GOAT, greatest of all time, Coach Donnie Branch. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm good.
I'm extremely excited to be here with you. This is exciting for me because I've known you for a very, very long time. It's been great to get to know you and to have you here. So I'm pretty honored that you're here. I'm excited. You excited, Kevin?
I'm excited.
We're sitting down with the GOAT.
I love the Branch family. A lot of good people in your family.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of money here.
My wife worked with your daughter. Your son's a great young man, and
Yeah, he's an awesome dude. Great
dad.
kids, great family.
Well, I appreciate that.
For sure. So we do a little bit different, Coach. We like to do a little interview, but kind of off the beaten path a little bit. We don't really dive too much into sports, like your personal sports. We'll dive into a lot of personal questions, nothing crazy or just a bunch of fun stuff, lighthearted. The reason I call you the GOAT, last year was your first year back at LaGrange High.
Yep.
How was it? How was it good to be home?
It was great. I was out of it since 2014 and came back last year, and you wonder how the kids changed. You hear all that, and the kids were great, the parents were great, so it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Before last year, a little bit of Coach's resume. Hall of Famer. You know who's a Hall of Famer? 2009,
Okay.
Georgia Clubhouse, Dugout Clubhouse, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
How was that honor? Was it
That
awesome?
was a big deal. They inducted me in 2009, which was actually one of our worst years. So it was obviously for past stuff, but that's when they called me that year. I remember it wasn't for anything that year. But it was a big honor because, that's the highest honor for a high school coach in Georgia, high school baseball coach in Georgia. So, your peers put you in there, so it was a really big deal.
That's amazing. Before last year's season, 519 and 241 was your record. That's
pretty good.
Phenomenal. State champion in 04?
Means you have good players and good coaches.
So a little bit about, I played for Coach back in high school many years ago. And the cool thing that I think made you successful is, one, you're a player's coach. You want to play hard for a guy that you know that's in your corner. And you've always been a player's coach. You've always been there to know, like, other than making some stupid, terrible decisions or something like that, you've always had our back, and that's what makes us play hard for you.
Well, that's something you try to do. Sometimes that can kind of be a negative term, player's coach, because it means you're a little soft on crime, That can be a little bit of a bad label, but I think most that play for me would say that I'm not soft on crime. I'm probably the opposite. But a player's coach to me is somebody who lets all the players know they really care about them, they love them, but they're kind of almost going to be a parent. If you need to put a foot on them, that's what you do. Not literally. Maybe in the 80s you did that, but in the 90s
you are a third parent as a coach, though. I mean,
no doubt about
the
it.
kids,
100%.
The kids, unfortunately, when they get to be pros and super famous, they think their mom and daddy. It's very rare you see them thanking their high school coach, but I mean, it's
That's
one of the most important people to push somebody out into the big world of sports, if that's the way they want to go.
Well, the deal is as a coach, you run into stuff that, like, if I could tell some stories about things that have happened that I've dealt with, from guys getting their girlfriend pregnant, or a bad divorce, or drug use by the parent and the kid, like stuff that even had one where there was a fight and the parents were fighting, and the mom called me because her husband had a gun trying to hunt them down. So so like there's a lot of things, like you think I'm the coach and you hit ground balls and you teach them how to play, but there's so much of the other stuff that you really deal with as well. And that's where you, like say, as a player's coach, the guys that played for me last year had one in a bad car wreck recently. I think an employee actually helped find the kid out on the highway, injured bad, and like, I talked to him last night. You're still kind of dealing with him. Mm-hmm. I mean, I always say once a Granger, always a Granger.
That's right.
So, you know, we kind of think of it as a Granger family, and just because you graduate or doesn't mean that you're done. We're done with you, you know. We stick with you from, you know, as long as we're alive is kind of the way we look at it.
And that's amazing. Another thing that I think makes you great is your off season. Your off season weight training, your off season going into it. I feel like a lot of people miss that, because I remember when I played, we were working out in the fall and doing stuff in the wintertime, and
Yeah, it doesn't really stop.
it never stops. You know what I mean?
People kind of think that it does, but to me, that's when you win or lose.
Exactly.
And the bad news for this year, these guys that play now, is I don't coach football.
Yeah.
So that means that I'm doing all the off season. Used to, when you played, I was coaching football.
Mhm.
So I had other coaches handling it. You know, I guess it's the good news and bad news. Now I'm directly the guy who's in the weight room with them, or doing agilities, or doing our extra. The rule is you can work with 4 players and 1 coach at a time. We call them 4-on-1s. So like today we had, you know, 40 kids come in and either hit, outfielders worked, infielders worked, they lifted weights, they, you know, 4 kids at a time with a coach. You know, I had 5 coaches working, so it doesn't stop. Our kids got 36 workouts this summer. No other high school team around does it, and I don't mean to say anything about anybody else.
No, that's what.
You know, they may say, hey, y'all can come lift. Now ours, like we take roll. Now, you don't have to come, but we take roll, and I send it out and say, hey, here's what your kid did.
Yeah.
You know, your kid, if he gets 6 workouts, I'm going to shoot it out there and let everybody see, you know, this guy's lazy. Everybody will know it. So they don't.
I've been on those text messages, the lazy ones.
So those guys, they come, you know, like our guys, it's been incredible. I think they're really, like, they wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was one thing. Coach Smart's incredible. The guy that was here before, he's an outstanding baseball coach. But where he came from, he got a little better, more developed player.
Mm-hmm.
So, and at LaGrange, like, we get a lot of guys, maybe they're kind of little or whatever, so we really have to do a lot in the weight room. So that's been a big point of emphasis. We've had guys gain 15 to 20 pounds and get a lot stronger. So we couldn't hardly hit a home run when I took the job. I almost fell out when I asked them how many home runs they hit. They hit 4 home runs the year before.
Oh,
and
man.
my last team in 2012, we hit 27, and they hit 4. I mean, I thought they were kidding, you know, 4 home runs. But last year we doubled that, which is still really bad. Don't get me wrong, that's bad. But we better hit more than that this year. You know, we're gonna have to do a little better. But anyway, the kids are doing really well.
I was pretty lucky. I came in on the tail end of the state championship.
Yeah,
back in 04.
Yeah, that was probably some of our better. That run of kids were about as good as we've ever been, and we've still got really good kids. But our talent level compared to from 2001, you know, to 7 in there was really, really high. I think it's the highest it's ever been at LaGrange High. So, I mean, like I said,
Brent, you're one of the best.
yeah, Brent, you're right in there.
No. I came in.
Yeah, there was some pretty good players. I mean, you look at
like John Sherrier was
well,
there.
you look at our state championship team, and you know, our one pitcher goes to Florida, and he gets drafted out of Florida. The other pitcher goes to Columbus State, but he gets drafted out of college. You had Andrew Manning, he went to UAB, and you had Brandon Monk, 7th round draft pick by the Braves. You had John Kelton, went to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And Montoya Young went to University of South Carolina, Aiken. Drew Murray went to Georgia Southern. And right now, we don't have a Division I guy.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I say, it doesn't mean we still don't plan on having a good program, being good, but we're trying to fit. The reason those guys were good is they were great kids and really good student athletes, but like they were big, strong. If they were small, they were like John Scher. He went to USC Aiken, man. He was like a 3-year starter in football. He was a beast of an athlete. I mean, he started on our defense in football for 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, we were just really strong, athletic, good players, and we're trying to get back. I can see guys like that coming. It's coming, but we just have to kind of do the work to get back there.
That's awesome. So, expectations for this year? You excited? What's your expectation?
We got a bunch of seniors that we have 12 seniors, and they're just, I mean, as high character, solid kids as you can have. Like I say, they're not a bunch of Division I recruits. I always say, I never tell a kid he can't play at Georgia.
Yeah.
I might say, look, Georgia's not recruiting you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
because I'm not going to be like Michael Jordan's high school coach. If somebody cut Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
I'm not going to like be that guy. So,
Yeah.
and I've seen little guys grow and things happen, but I'll say, hey, you know, Georgia not recruiting you. Maybe you need to go to this junior college, and in 2 years, maybe Georgia does recruit you.
Yeah,
So we're
definitely
kind of in that mode. We got they're really good players, but like I say, we're not going to be the most talented team in the region. But you know, I anticipate getting in the playoffs, which is not easy. This is a really hard region. Last year we got in and actually won a round, but I think we're probably. You know, last year getting in was a big deal. I mean, I was, you know, kind of on the edge there. I didn't want to come back and flop right out of the gate. But I think that this year, you know, I told the kids there's no reason why we shouldn't be battling at the top.
Yeah,
you know, we ought to be in the conversation of, you know, why not us? You know, why can't we win the region, and why can't we host the playoffs and that kind of thing? So that's the goal. But, you know, you got to do the work, and then, you know, you need some luck and all that kind of thing. But that's kind of our goal. We've upped our goal this year.
That's awesome.
And that's the way winners think. That's the best part about all that. Is that, you know, coming off of, you know, some rough seasons and everything, you know, the lack of home runs and everything, and then having that mentality and make sure the players understand it and they feel the exact same way too is probably one of your biggest.
The mindset, the culture, I'm big on like the culture of how you do business. And it's, you know, I'm a big fan of the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
You're young. I don't know y'all's age difference.
I watched Andy Griffith Show growing
I
up.
used to watch it growing up too.
But you know Otis, right? Otis the town drunk, right? But if you, on the show, Otis had come in and he'd open the cell and he'd be drunk, you know, let himself in. And like that was kind of his little deal. He didn't need Andy or Barney or anybody. He could just, like, you should have a culture built where, like, we're in the weight room, like I could go home.
Yeah, exactly.
I could go home and the leadership runs it. And when we were winning state football championships, that's the way it was. Mm-hmm. And when we didn't go home, but if you stepped out, like Wesley Woodyard made sure everybody lifted weights. You know?
Yeah.
Or Trey Blackman or Travis Hart or John Scher. Our baseball culture was the same way. And I see our guys now, they'll come in, like I'm working with the pitchers, and like they'll have a routine and they can just operate it. Like, and I remember like I was pushing them hard last year, how to do it, how to, you know, I'm like, you can talk about your girlfriend, have fun, talk about your date, and right when you step into the field or the hitting facility, it's like it's work time.
Yeah.
Do the work, and they've learned it. So I'm anxious to get them on the field in January and kind of see if they can apply it and learn. Last year there was, you know, they didn't have it there. You know, it took a few weeks, maybe a month, and then like, you know, one of those bad days where like I brought them in and just ran them for about an hour. I let them stretch and I let them throw, and then I just ran them for about an hour, and I let them carry each other on piggyback and all that kind of running. So it was real fun. They didn't like it too much. And then I said, all right, y'all go home. We didn't even hit. We didn't do anything. And from that day forward, I think they kind of figured out that it was kind of. So I hope we don't have to do that again, but that's always a tool that we'll use if necessary.
Well, we're excited. We're in your corner. I'm excited for sure for this upcoming year. Also on this guy's resume, 4-time state champion defense coordinator. This guy right here.
There you go.
My guy. Go for a reason. We're going to get a little bit personal here, Coach. We're going to do 12 questions we got. Maybe a couple little bonus questions in there. Michael will ask one question too.
Yeah.
First question is, we know your wife. Miss Branch, if you haven't ever met Miss Angie, she's fantastic.
delight.
Derek and Allison, wonderful family. Like I said, I went to high school, graduated with Derek, graduated 07 together. Fantastic coach, new grandpa. Decided, where did it all start? Where'd you meet Miss Branch at?
All right, I met her at Sneed State Junior College in Boaz, Alabama.
Boaz.
Boaz, Alabama. I was a baseball. I was a college baseball player, and she was a. I was a sophomore, and she was a freshman. She's from Arab. She was. That's only like 45 minutes from her. I mean, so Boaz is really close. She's from Arab, Alabama, but I met her there, and then I went to North Alabama to play baseball after my 2 years. And then I tell people she followed me to North Alabama. she went to North Alabama.
You made a good impression then.
That's right.
Right, yeah. I think it
Because if it was the opposite way, she probably would have picked a different school.
right. That's what I mean.
That's awesome.
No doubt. That's
Boaz, Alabama's where it started.
That's good.
Boaz, Alabama.
That's college sweethearts. I like it. So if you're taking her out for like a date night, it doesn't have to necessarily be LaGrange, but maybe LaGrange. Where do you go? Like a restaurant?
Well, we like the Cart Barn.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I love the
That place
Cart
is
Barn.
fantastic.
Cart Barn is a big one for us. Now we don't go as often as we used to go, but the Cart Barn's always good. And there's a place in Carrollton, and I think it's called it's Little Hawaiian,
Okay.
and it's like right there downtown Carrollton. It's a really nice little restaurant, like that place too. But we're not real fancy. Look, a lot of times, to be honest, it's like we'll get carry out Captain's Cove. I like Captain's Cove.
Yeah, Captain's Cove's good.
Captain's Cove's got a great steak.
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
And she likes grilled shrimp there, and I carry it home. The older you get, sometimes that's just as fun as going out.
I'm getting there myself.
Yeah.
So, if your favorite fast food restaurant you're going to, if you had to swing through something, grab something quick,
No, McDonald's.
McDonald's.
I got McDonald's on the way here.
I'm a McDonald's sweet tea guy.
Yeah.
I love their McDonald's sweet
Yeah,
tea.
I'm a McDonald's.
I've become more of a McDonald's guy as I have a kid and Happy Meals and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
So,
and they're a lot easier.
it's kind of a default sometimes.
Yeah, McDonald's is a good go-to.
Yes, 100%.
So who's got another food question? We're kind of
We're chunky,
hefty
as you can see, Kev.
here,
But this one may put you in a little hot water right
Yeah,
here.
this
we
may be
want your
tough.
honest opinion.
Who has the best chicken wings in LaGrange? It could be a fast food chicken wing. It could be a wing place chicken wing. It could be a restaurant chicken wing. Who's got the best chicken wing?
Well, I haven't eaten at a lot of chicken wing places. Like I'm like, if I like something, that's what I do.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Like,
how we
like
are.
when I go to Cart Barn, I'm gonna eat fried shrimp. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna try. My wife's gonna have mahi. She tries stuff.
That's what my wife does too.
Anything they do blackened is fantastic
Yeah,
too.
she'll eat grouper or whatever. Well, wings. I've just recently discovered Publix wings.
Oh man, those are great.
Those are really,
Yeah.
really good. And I like, and it's kind of ironic, I guess, but I like Granger's hot
Yes.
Granger's.
wings. I like
Granger's.
Reggie's hot wings. The bad news is he moved. He
Yeah,
used
it's
to be
great.
right over there.
It's over there by. It's
I'm
right
like
between
2
our
miles
house.
from him now.
Well,
It's
see, he used to
fantastic.
be over there by me, and
That's
I
right.
stop all the time on the way home, and now it's like less convenient, so I don't go out there as much. But I really like Granger's hot
I
wings.
love that he moved.
Yeah,
I can get DoorDash to deliver that.
Those Gold Rush wings, fantastic. You may have already said this. What's your favorite TV show?
Well, Andy Griffith is my favorite old TV show.
But like right now, what would be your favorite TV show?
Let's see. I like NCIS.
Oh, that's a good one.
I watch
Is there
it.
like 5 NCISs though.
No, but I like
The
I like
regular one?
Mark Harmon, the original NCIS. Tuesday nights, 8:00.
Nice.
It's like
CBS.
CBS. It's good. It's good every week. That's mine.
That's awesome. What is your favorite? What's your favorite TV show right now, Kev?
I'm not currently following a show, but my favorite of all time was probably Dexter or Game of Thrones, one or two.
Yeah,
But
Game of Thrones is
they're
really
both
good. You ever
awful.
watch Game of Thrones?
No.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's a
I've
big
heard
rabbit
it
hole
is.
to get down.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's really, really good.
Eat up your life if you
Yeah.
start watching it, because they're all available to watch.
Right. Well, Derek watches all those. I don't know if he watches games at Game of Thrones, but like all the Netflix stuff, he's on all that
Stranger
stuff.
Things, stuff like
and he
that.
tells me I need to do it, but I really never get around to do it.
It's actually probably better for you that you don't watch
Yeah.
so much TV, because these shows are bingeable now, and you end up just
Well,
sucked
I did
into
that
it.
with the football show, the junior college football.
Oh yeah, Last Chance You.
Like I did. He
Good show.
said watch this, so like I ended up like
Yes.
watching all of it.
I did the exact same thing.
That's
Michael
all.
came in one day and was like, "Hey, have you watched it?" And I was like, "I haven't." So
I didn't watch
it.
this season.
I didn't watch this season.
But I watched the ones before. I just sat there and just watched them like in a row, you know.
Yes, that's awesome.
So the next entertainment question: what's your all-time favorite movie?
Wow.
You don't have to pick a sports movie just because you're a sports guy, but of all time.
Well, that's a tough one.
If it pops on TV, you'll sit and watch it, even edited and with commercials. You'll watch it. It's so great. What movie is that?
Well, Gladiator.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great movie.
That-
Maximus.
Yeah, that's
Russell Crowe.
yeah, that's a really good one.
Sad ending.
Yeah.
Terrible ending. Yeah, it's bad.
I'm trying to think what else. I like, sports movies, like, and it's not like a classic, but I like Remember the Titans.
I watched
yeah.
that yesterday.
No, it's a fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, any kind of movie like that I really like.
Yeah, so that Disney Plus came out, so I watched.
That's all we
Remember
did
the-
yesterday.
I watched Remember the Titans, Invincible, Greatest Game Ever Played, Sandlot. I watched them all.
Sandlot, I really like that one. That was one that, like, Derek was little.
Yes.
Him watching that one.
All right, transition to some sports questions. This one has a bonus question to it. What is your all-time favorite athlete? Growing up, who'd you admire? Who'd you like?
Well, I don't know about growing up, but as an adult, I think Derek Jeter.
Oh yeah,
I'm a big
Captain.
Derek Jeter guy, just
Captain.
because like he's kind of like I'd like my players to be like. He's like show up, do what he's supposed to do. He says the right thing. He's a leader, like all just kind of first class all the way.
Yes.
So Derek Jeter's like one of my favorites.
I read an interesting thing while he was still playing baseball. He was, ladies like the guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He would take care of, like, if he went out with a lady or whatever, he took care of them as far as, like, even if it wasn't going to be a thing, he'd like, send them like a gift basket basically.
Yeah,
like,
he's a gentleman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super
But
gentleman.
his image, he kept it like really
Super
clean,
clean.
and he was in New York City.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's hard
that's
to
tough.
do.
That's hard to do.
That's tough to do. Also, real quick bonus question: if you were playing right now baseball, what would be your walk-up song?
That's a good question right there.
Yeah.
I like Inner Sandman. That's a good one.
That's
yes.
great.
Yes. Yes.
Inner Sandman's a good one. Yeah, that was a Mariano Rivera.
Yes. You hear that
Coming in the
music
pitch,
and you
because
would-
I was a pitcher, so that would be a good one. And or I'm trying to think of a good AC/DC song.
Yes. What would be a good Back in Black?
Yeah.
That would be a great one.
Or
No,
TNT.
No, I can't think of our song that we actually play at LaGrange High. That's bad. I'm drawing a blank. But any of those AC/DCs are good.
Michael,
Yeah,
Michael,
80s metal,
wanted,
basically.
Michael wanted me to ask you who had the best all-time walk-up music that you remember they played for you.
Drew Murray,
What was his walk-up music?
Inspector Gadget.
Yes.
He was talking about
Yes,
that.
he was talking
said it
about
was
it.
a cartoon.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
weird.
Inspector Gadget, or Michael Manning had it was like some God, what was it? It was like something like with a hoedown kind of deal. It was bad. If you know Michael Manning,
Yeah.
I can't think of what the song was. But
No,
Drew
but-
Murray, every time, no matter how big the situation was, like it's 2-2, state semifinals, and Drew Murray walks up to the plate, and if Inspector Gadget came on, I mean, you had to smile every time, no matter the pressure. And if you knew Drew,
It made sense.
it was very fitting for him.
Yes.
So what's your favorite sports memory of all time? Whether it was when you were playing, when you were coaching, just something that you saw on TV even.
Well, probably like on TV would be like, and this is like goes way back, would be like the Olympic hockey deal in 1980.
Oh yeah, the miracle.
The miracle.
Yeah.
That game was like huge because that was just a different time. you know,
Yes,
for
yeah.
Russians. So like watch it on TV, that would be it. But to me, the personally would be state baseball championship because it hadn't been done. Nobody in LaGrange High or Troop or Callaway or Hogansville, nobody had won one or has won one since. So that was big. And then probably the Peach County state championship in football because everybody thought we were going to get killed.
Yep.
And we went there and we pretty much dominated the game and won, I think 16-7 or something like that.
That's back when you played the semifinals in the Dome.
In
and
the
then
Dome.
Went to the home field after.
Right.
for
That,
the
I
state
loved it that way because
That's what the best way it was.
more teams got to play in the Dome,
Yeah.
which is good. And then somebody got to host.
And it
you
helped
know.
that city economically.
Yeah.
And it was awesome because I remember growing up going to Cedartown with it freezing outside.
Oh, yeah.
And
That was good too.
Yeah.
Because we were behind
yeah,
pretty bad at
that's that
halftime.
DeMario Ford catch, wasn't it? Or
That was
something?
Patrick Higgins.
Yeah, one of those. I remember. Who is the greatest coach you've ever coached for, against, or coached with? Who would be?
Coach 4 would probably be, and I hope he doesn't see the show because he doesn't need any ego stroking, would probably be Pardue.
We'll put a block on the link so that he
So
can't
we won't
click it.
I mean, he's really, and Coach Guthrie, who was our first state championship that I was a part of, I mean, he was awesome. He was a little more CEO. Like, he let his coaches coach, and he surrounded himself with good coaches. Steve, Coach Pardue he ran the offense along with that staff, and he let me run the defense, but he's got a real knack for just football instinct, knowing like when to call like a trick play or when to when to take a chance, or hey, look, our defense is really good. We don't need to screw it up. Let's win this game 10-7. Even though he's an offensive coach, like he didn't worry about his ego. He just said we need to win. We won 2-0, and it was like, hey, we're not going to lose this game for us. I mean, like a lot of coaches, there's a lot of egos, and I was kidding about his, but he really had a knack. I mean, and ironically, he just found out that he's going to be inducted in the football coaches or Georgia Athletic Coaches Association Hall of Fame.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yesterday,
That's awesome.
he just found that out.
That's
And
amazing.
so,
Deserve it.
coach with, I coached with a bunch of great guys, great coaches. I mean, David Traylor and David Pleasance. Thomas Crocker's like a brother, and like he was our weight room guy.
Oh man, I had his weight trainer back to back. It was.
He's like the weight room coach is the most important coach on the football staff because he's with the guys more than anybody, and he just had such a knack through all those years. And baseball players, football players, all those kids, and he's back at the high school, which is kind of fun that he's back over there. So. He was really, really special, and like I say, it's really good that he's back at LaGrange High School.
That's amazing. He's a great guy.
So when you're not coaching or doing sports related stuff, what's your like number one hobby? What do you like to do the most?
Well, I don't have a lot of hobbies.
Other than being on sports podcasts. 'Cause
Yeah, I do
that's a
sports
new thing.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's kind of corny, but like I'm like a sports nut.
Yeah.
So like I watch everything. So like I watch NBA, I watch college basketball, I watch on Saturday. I can sit there from noon until 1 a.m. and watch every college football.
You're flipping
game.
over the Pac-12
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm up at
10:30.
I'm up at 10:30 watching watching those games. I mean,
That's awesome.
and usually I'm up watching the pre-game shows for them too. You know, and the NFL in the afternoons, like I'll watch it. Like I just love watching. I actually love watching football more than I do baseball, just because it's a lot better spectator sport. I like watching the Braves in
Yes.
baseball.
Yes.
But and the playoffs and World Series, that kind of thing. But I don't usually watch the Angels play the Twins.
Yeah, you don't stay up for that game.
I'm not
Yeah,
staying up. I stay up. I don't sleep. I'm a stay up to like 1, 2 o'clock.
That's
guy.
what I am too.
But so I don't really, I fish a little bit, that kind of deal. I live on the lake. I don't fish as much as I like to or used to. But hopefully now I'll be going to see my brand new granddaughter. I don't know if that's a hobby, but that's
Yeah,
something.
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
That's something I'm fired up about. I'm going there this weekend. I'm gonna go down and spend some time with her. So, I guess that's kind of boring, but that's
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Those are we love doing all these things.
Yeah, I've got.
I don't fish very much though. Growing up,
Trout
I did.
fish was pretty fun, but
My
that's
aunt and
it.
uncle have a pond.
Yeah. What is the best advice you've ever been given from another coach?
Probably don't treat everybody the same, but treat everybody fairly. Like your kids they really are like snowflakes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got some guys that, man, I know from the time I see them, I need to like have dropped a hammer on them. And the standard's the same. Like when they hit the ball, they better be running. But my reaction when he doesn't run may be different than it is when another one. Like if my son didn't run, it's probably going to be a little bit worse on him than it would be some guy who might not have been chewed out quite as much growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I know
it's,
what you
the
mean.
standard is some guys you got to be rubbing them on the neck, loving on them kind of as you're chewing them out. And some
Yeah.
guys you got to scream at them.
Yeah.
I've had both, and I'll do kind of both.
This guy's a screamer, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you had to yell.
You gotta kick him.
Yeah.
So, all right, this has been a little bit of a problem between us, Brent and me, but I figured you could be the voice of reason here. So the top 4 CFB playoff rankings came out on Tuesday. If you were ranking them and you hadn't seen those rankings, how would you rank the top 4? Or would you?
What would be your rankings?
Remembering that the selection committee has to pretend like there's nothing left in the season is over when they make that selection. Not looking towards the future.
I would rank them just like they're ranked.
Okay.
I would rank them just like, and I normally wouldn't say that, but I think they're, and I'm an Auburn fan. All
My
right,
wife's
I'll
a huge
clarify.
Auburn fan.
All right, so I'm an Auburn fan, but I think it's like I say, Georgia's in a spot where if they take care of their business, they're going to be in there. But like Alabama's sitting right there, LSU to me has earned it. I mean,
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely. Beating 4 top
and Ohio
10 teams.
State has looked great. I know that everybody'd say, maybe their schedule hadn't been quite as good, but they're killing everybody.
Yeah, they're
killing
scoring
everybody by 50
70 on everybody.
points.
So, I would rank them. I would do it just the same.
And, Michael actually brought up a good point earlier, saying that the reason why you put Alabama where they are is because of looking towards the future. They're not going to play in their conference championship, and so there's no way for them to be fairly ranked in the top 4. And so leaving them there kind of solves
the outside,
that
looking
issue.
in.
But
Yeah, if you stuck them right in there right after they got beat, it's probably not very smart when Georgia's going to be, unless they fall on their
Unless they lose
face
a
the
couple
next
times.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Georgia's going to be in the conference championship, so you got them right there. They've got a couple really good wins. So I think it's real fair if Georgia falters, and they've got a tough schedule ahead.
Yep.
Then Alabama's right there. And like I say, I'm an Auburn guy, so Bama, it didn't like,
they
they
might
can't
lose
lose.
they might
You
lose
didn't
to Auburn.
like that Auburn can't beat Georgia or Alabama.
Yeah.
It's not likely to beat both. It's not, they're going to be underdogs in both games, but they were underdogs in both games 2 years ago.
when they beat them, and they were both ranked number 1 when they beat them.
Right. So it's not likely, but, you know, there's a shot.
There's a chance.
If they won 2 in a row, and they were in the conference champ, there's I saw on ESPN, there's 5% chance that's their 5% is for them to win 3 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So if Auburn won, beat Georgia, beat Bama, and then beat Georgia again,
Yeah.
or whoever, Florida, Georgia,
Yeah.
then they would be in
Yeah.
with 2 losses. That's not going to happen, but hey,
Yeah,
there's always
I mean,
hope.
You don't
Always hope.
think of anything like
Oh,
that.
last week, earlier this week when we talked about college football rankings, I had them ranked just the way they are, and I said because it's just a pure timing of Alabama's loss. It's just like you can't, when they lose, you can't take them from 2 or wherever they were. Where were they? 3.
They were 3.
You can't take them 3 to 4. You have to take them out of the top 4 just because of their loss.
They played really, really bad.
Yeah.
First half.
That first
For
half was
Alabama,
really good.
they looked
They did.
They looked discombobulated.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, they looked really bad. I mean, the punter just dropped the ball. It was right there.
But didn't they end up scoring more points against LSU than any other team this season?
Two was just running. He's at the 5-yard line and he drops the ball.
Yeah, gets tackled
I mean,
by a ghost man.
Yeah, you know, it was like, I mean, they were really bad, and for them to get 20 down, and you know, LSU's really good. In fact, it made Auburn's defense look pretty good when you look at Auburn held them to what 24 maybe.
Yeah.
So because LSU's like they're
they're
the real
serious.
deal now. They're not that good on defense, but offensively, they're going to score on anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, as long as they don't choke up. My daughter is a Georgia graduate, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
So, and my wife's line would be, she says, "Why don't you pull for Georgia?" She used to get mad, and I'd say, because if she was on the football team, I would. But other than that, I'm not.
That's right.
She's not on the or any
If
capacity.
you're predicting the future at the end of everything, at the end of the SEC championship, after these next few games everybody has, who do you think's going to be in the top 4?
I think it's going to be LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama.
Georgia loses SEC championship.
If they do,
I think Georgia loses to LSU. I think they beat Auburn close, but I think they beat A&M, and then they're going to lose to LSU. And I think Alabama sits there, and I think Baylor in Oklahoma, they mess it up. I wouldn't doubt if Oregon and them.
You know what,
mess it
though?
up.
I think Minnesota gets beat this week by Iowa.
I wouldn't shock me at all. In Ohio State, they would still have to beat Ohio State too.
Yeah.
But I think those 4. And if not Alabama, I think there's going to be 2 SEC teams.
Yeah, there typically is. There hasn't not been.
It could be
since
Georgia. My next one would be, it'd be Georgia, LSU. But I think the SEC is going to get to.
So you think LSU's in no matter what they do in the conference championship?
I think
It'd be hard to tell.
I
not
think
to.
LSU it can lose one game and they're in.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, nobody else can kind of guarantee that. Even Clemson.
There's
if they
been
mess
3
up.
teams that weren't conference champions get into the top 4 since the CFB started doing the
It was
playoffs.
Alabama.
So,
Alabama twice, wasn't it?
Alabama
Or once?
once.
Ohio State
Ohio
did.
State did it once. I feel like there was another team from another conference that did it without being the conference champion as well. So.
I'm just hoping Auburn can get in it sometime.
Yeah. I think they
Yeah,
will.
you know, they start off hot. You know, speaking of the national championship, do you have like a tally of how many players you've coached that have performed in a national championship of some
Or
sort,
played
whether
in pro?
professionally or college? And I mean, I can think of Wesley Woodyard was in the Super Bowl when he was in the
Tyrone Poole won the Super Bowl with the Patriots. I don't remember which one. It was one of those.
It was the one against
It was
Carolina,
like
wasn't it?
2001, 3 or 4. One of
Okay.
those 3 or 2 of those 3. He was a starting corner.
All right.
So Tyrone Of course, Wesley, he hadn't won a Super Bowl.
He hadn't won, but he was in it.
But Wesley's, you know,
He's Wesley.
yeah, I mean, he's done everything.
Yeah.
So, John Johnson, you know, was actually, I coached him. He was on my defensive ends, and he was a second-round draft pick, played at Clemson. Deshaun Cameron, he played in Canada a little bit. I'm trying to think.
Hey, it
who
could be
else.
Canadian National Championship. I mean,
I'm trying to think. I'd have to think back. Baseball, you know, Mike Cameron.
oh yeah,
Mike was
he's a great guy.
yeah, Mike's really been special. You know, when you give back like him too, I mean,
Yeah.
he built our indoor facility or started the fundraising, and we've always stayed in contact, and so we've been real close. I mean, he flew me and my son to Chicago. We stayed with him a week and all that. I mean, he's been really good. And and he played what 17 years in the big leagues, I think.
He's got a bat in the Hall of Fame.
He's still
4 home runs, 1
he's
game.
still ripped.
Yeah.
Every time I run into him, it's like,
Darnell Stinson, who I think is the best player that I ever coached in high school baseball. I mean, because he's like tied for the home run lead, the RBI. He's got the most RBIs. He's got the most wins on the mound, and he was a third-round draft pick, Red Sox, and ended up, you know, it's tragic because he made it to the big leagues. He went up with the Red Sox, and then he went right down because they acquired Manny Ramirez. So that knocked him down. So he ends up going to the Cincinnati Reds. He makes it up, plays, does real good the last like 50 games of the year, and then he gets murdered in fall in Arizona Fall League, just a random carjacking. So that was he had just made it to the big leagues and was doing really good. So that was but he's the best that I ever coached. I mean, he was really, really special, no doubt about it. And a great kid, like AP student, you know, top 20 in his class. He was the total package.
Well, that's been
all the
fantastic,
questions.
Coach. I appreciate you stopping in. Anything you want to say?
No, appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you're here.
No, I enjoyed it.
We are looking forward to your baseball season. We're excited. I'm just honored you're here. I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight.
No, we enjoyed it, or I enjoyed it, and glad to be here, and thank LaGrange Toyota and you guys for, like I say, Michael and I have been friends a long time. I've known you a long time, but we've, you know, y'all been really good to our family, you know, over the years. So it's really, really, you know, it's just a good thing that y'all are doing, you know, the podcast. I'm not exactly sure what a podcast is. I do listen to a few. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys having me on.
I'm excited. Well, want to thank Coach. Look forward to this upcoming season. Anything you want to say, Kev?
Oh no, thanks. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys, for watching and listening. As always,
Goes out.
see you.